A very powerful book that should be that every devotee, every practicing sadhaka should have in his home, his hands. This is Nectar of Instructions. This is Upadeshamrita, written by Rupa Goswami. And Srila Prabhupada wrote this Nectar of Instructions with his purport. Also we can find purport of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and of course Rupa Goswami's. Окей. Я кажу, що будемо сьогодні по нектару цих настанов давати лекцію, що це книга, що має бути у кожного відданого, і її написав Рупа Госвамі, бо вона називається Упадешамрита. Так, добре. So, this book consists of some topics. First topic will be mind and sense control. But we should control our senses and our mind. It's very hard. It's like to stop the wind, but we can make it because there are some very powerful tools for this. We cannot go to Himalayas and sitting there and thinking that we are not thinking anything. We are thinking that we are not thinking, so we are thinking. So it's impossible to stop our mind process. And next chapter, next topic will be attitude of sadhakas, of devotees, and how should they communicate with each other, how they should communicate with other people, maybe not devotees, and this going purpose of ISKCON, what Srila Prabhupada gave us, this society in which we can communicate with our devotees and grow in our spiritual life. Я кажу їм, що перша така тема, яку розкриває нектар настанов, це під контроль взяти мислі і чувства. І інша тема – це поведінка. Поведінка між відданими і з іншими людьми теж. І для цього якраз Шріла Прабхупада дав нам свідомість Крішни, суспільства це, і в якому ми можемо розвиватися, і як ми маємо там поводити себе. Next topic will be Guru and disciples, the relationship between Guru and disciples, and Sadhu Sangha. So Sadhu Sangha is like, our attitude in devotees relationship with them, but it's more deeply. And what kind of devotees are, what their behaviors and qualifications also we can know from this book. And of course stages of bhakti, how to develop bhakti, in which stage I am situated, in which stage I am going to be, I want to reach which stage. Okay. So, from the point of view of Rupa Goswami, that he wrote in another book, Nectar of Devotion, we can look at this Nectar of Instruction. So, in verses from 1 to 3, we can read about Shraddha. What is it, Shraddha? So, Shraddha, it's like I have some interest in some topic, like positive interest, and this I can say that it's some kind of Shraddha. So I have a faith in some topic, and I want to search it, and I want to discover it. So I have some very small faith in this. And then I, for example, I'm searching for for devotees, for this Krishna consciousness, very strange people, what they have, what philosophy they have. It's very interesting to me. So that is small interest. It is small shraddha, and then I find them after our interest. It's going to be some action. So I have interest in, next I must do something. To buy a book, to come to temple, to find some people and something else. So then it's going to be sadhu sangha in text 4 to 6. We can read about sadhu sangha. So it's like I came to the doctor, I have some disease, and he given me some pills, and I need to believe that it will cure me. So I have some shraddha to this cure, and then I starting to cure myself, to eat it, to take it, and this some kind of sadhu sangha. We are appearing in society of devotees, and we starting to communicate with them, and that is process of our communication, of our cure begins. So that is sadhu sangha. And next text 7 will be bhajana kriya. So when our pills, our medical this treatment is going next, so we starting to feel more positive, even if our disease is very bad. Our cure, our medicine starting to cure us. So that process called bhajana kriya, when we communicate with devotees. And then going anarha nivriti. So anarha nivriti, we have some feelings to material nature, we have some desires to this, and then this cure is influence to us. We are understanding that there is something more than this material world, and we are thinking about the spiritual world, and our curing process going on the next level. It's called anarha nivriti. And when we had shraddha in the beginning, now we have shraddha, but in the more powerful situation. It's like nishtha. It's called nishtha. When we have this faith, but its faith is growing more and more. So this is not small shraddha, that's called nishtha. And next going ruchi, when we have the taste. About this nishtha, we can say that our shraddha was like a banana tree. It's very easy to shake it. Even an elephant can take it from the ground. And this nishtha, it's more stable. It's like banyan tree, very huge. So we cannot shake it. So nishtha is more strong than our shraddha. And next going ruchi, that we have some taste. Some taste appeared in our lives, and we can feel it, but it can come, but it can go away also. And in verses 8, in text 8, we will speak about asakti, and it's like we have some more strong taste. It's like we have some free drugs, and we like hooked on them, and it's like a negative example. And in the positive example, we tasted these feelings, how to serve Lord Krishna, and it's very enjoyable. So we become too attached to this. So this is a Sakti level. Next go in Bhava. It's like we have emotions, spiritual emotions. It's more powerful, more than a Sakti taste. It's enjoyable. And close to the Bhava, it's Prema. Prema, it's like we are diving in the ocean of love to the Godhead, to the Lord. In this level, there are devotees in spiritual world in Vrindavan. They are in this level. Так, хлопці, я розповів, що в цій книжці розповідається про рівні в віршах там, з 1 по 3 про Шрадху, далі йде про Садху Сангу, Баджана Крія, Надха Нівріті, Ніштха, Ручія, Сакті, Бава і Према. Всі ці процеси, вони з точки зору Рупи Госвамі, що він виклав у іншій роботі своїй нектар Devotion відданості, Нектар відданості, він там виклав ці стадії, і з точки зору цієї системи ми побачили нектар настанов. Okay, so I will maybe read. So we have these books. They come in English, so we can vote them after the lecture. We have about 10 books or more, maybe more. Very nice quality, build quality, with pictures. In Russian we have much lower quality, not so cool, without pictures at all. Pictures are important. I love pictures. So I will read a few parts and maybe a preface by Srila Prabhupada. So this is Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. We can see them on the Shat Goswami, 6 Goswami, on the lower picture on the right. So preface by Srila Prabhupada. The Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas of Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswami of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura has sung Rupa Radhunatha Pade Haibe Akuti Kabehama Bujhaba Se Yugala Priti. Then I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha Krishna. So then Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago. He gave us like a key to understand pastimes of Lord Krishna that came 5,000 years ago. Когда Господь Чайтанья прийшов на землю 500 років тому, він нам дав ключ до розуміння ігор Крішни, що він явив 5000 років тому. And it's very important because before Mahaprabhu came, it was Srimad Bhagavatam, this higher literature about Vedic, that stand Lord Krishna in the total absolute, that it is absolute truth. But in the Middle Age, there are not very popular this work, Srimad Bhagavatam. It was popular works of Jainism appeared, and impersonalism, Shankaracharya, he spread this impersonalism very widely, and the bhakti, it was not so popular. And when Mahaprabhu came and he showed his leelas, his pastimes, but he had some mission. And last 18 years he spent in Jagannath Puri, in diving in love to Krishna, and he found 4 Goswamis, these intelligent, charismatic people in all over the country, especially Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. They were very famous, like one was prime minister, another one was financial minister, so very rich, famous people, very intelligent. And Lord Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya, he took them to his service. So he gave them 4 tasks, 4 goals. The first one is to go to the Vrindavan and build temples and glorify pastimes of Radha Krishna. The second task was to find temples that were buried under the ground, so they were hidden already. So in the jungle, or I don't know how they was hidden. It's very fast growing, all trees in India because of climate. Yeah. Even I saw the buildings and I thought, why Indian people can't paint their buildings? They will be much attractive. But when I understood that it's the climate, it's very wet, and this rainy season now is going, yeah, rainy season, and what you will do, it will be a period, and it's a lot of money. So the hidden places, Goswamis should be founded. And the third task was to make some literature about bhakti, to write literature works, glorifying this bhakti process, glorifying Krishna. And for the fourth task was to show to people, to teach them by their own example how to practice bhakti. And 6 Goswamis accomplished these missions very well. So some of them were building temples, and some of them were working on these works, literature about bhakti. So what is different about Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, or Ishopanishad? They are glorifying Krishna. They put Krishna in the center of the world, but they are not teaching us, not giving instructions how to practice. They are saying about this, I don't remember the verse, кто-нибудь знает? 10:10, как начинается, Бхагавад Гита. Я даю. Ага, да. You know? Dharma, да, без бадужи. Баджа там прийти пурвакам, дами будхи йогам, там янамам упаянти те. Да. Тим, хто служить мені з відданістю і з любов'ю, я даю істинний розум, за допомогою якого вони можуть прийти до мене. Так? So, this verse saying from Bhagavad Gita that to those who are serving me with love, I given the true intelligence which you can use and to come to Lord by yourself. So this is bhakti process, but it's like, I don't know what to do. I read this and I don't know exactly what to do. So this is one side of the Vedic literature. It's like Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Ishopanishad. And the other side, it's like practical. It's a nectar of instructions, nectar of devotion. And these Goswamis, they were focused not on pastimes of Krishna, they were focused on the philosophy, how to understand these pastimes of Lord Krishna, how to understand pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, and how to practically use them in your lives, and how to control feelings, and etc. We will read it in next in the first verse, first mantra. So another associates of Lord Chaitanya, they wrote books about Lord Chaitanya pastimes. It's very important to us, but Shad Goswami, six Goswamis, they worked about this philosophical point. And the disciple of six Goswami, а як цього звати, що автор Чайтані Чарітамріти? Як? Krishnadas Kaviraj. This disciple of six Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Thakur, he was trained all his life in Vrindavan. He started with Lord Chaitanya with his pastimes, and he came to Vrindavan and they trained him, and he wrote literature about these two sides of pastimes, of philosophical aspects and aspect of wait a second, chronicle pastimes and philosophical, and this book is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So come back to six Goswamis. So without them, without this book, we cannot understand properly the games, the leelas, the pastimes of Radha Krishna, because six Goswamis were dived in these feelings. They had prema level, and they can show us how to act accordingly their пример. Example. The example. Okay, next preface I'm reading. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the science of Krishna. The most exalted of all activities of Lord Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of gopis. Therefore, to understand the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the six Goswamis, Shri Rupa Sanatana, Bhatta Raghunatha, Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta, and Dasa Raghunatha. In their in Vrindavan spiritual world, we know that gopis have the higher положение, the higher level, higher situated, they are very high among all devotees. So, and who helps them in Leelas Radha Krishna? They are gopi that called Manjari, like another party of gopis, and Rupa Goswami, he is one of these Manjaris in the spiritual world, and he helps Radha Krishna with their leelas in their material, in the spiritual world, and also he appeared in this material world, and he helped to Mahaprabhu to accomplish his mission. So it's a very high level work, literature work. Sri Rupa Goswami was the leader of the Goswamis, and to guide our activities, he gave us Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction to follow. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses known as Shikshashtaka, Rupa Goswami gave us Upadeshamrita so that we may become pure Vaishnavas. Also, he wrote this poem про Гопкумара, як воно називається? Переданий Харибол. Как про этого, про Гопакумара, як називається? Брихад Бхагаватам. Also he wrote Brihad Bhagavatamrita, where he showed the levels of devotees in material world and spiritual world. This about travels of Gopkumar, the hero. So as you can see, he doesn't wrote about these pastimes of Mahaprabhu, but he was with him. But he wrote a different work about philosophical background. In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to control his mind and senses. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. Everyone within this material world is engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. One must promote himself to the platform of goodness, sattva guna, by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami, and then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. A follower of the Krishna consciousness movement should become a perfect Goswami. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. In Vrindavana, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become a Goswami. Go means the senses and Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. To achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow the instructions known as Upadeshamrita, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books such as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidaka Madhava and Lalita Madhava. But Upadeshamrita constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. One should follow these instructions very strictly. Then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Hare Krishna. So it's very good to start with this book because I was practicing many years, but I just thought, oh, it's so small book, I will read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Why I need to read so small books? But now I understand how powerful they are, and the size doesn't matter. Я говорю, что такая маленькая книжечка, я вначале подумал, да что я буду читать такие книжки маленькие. Я уже Бхагавад-гиту почитаю, Шримад Бхагаватам, потом читание Чаритамриту. Это же все равно все состоит из этих, ну как бы он, что он Прабхупада брал из них там. Но я просто не знал, насколько она мощная, хоть и маленькая, что я говорю, размер не имеет значения, что Упадешамрита труд Госвами, с помощью которого они дали ключ к пониманию тех игр Кришны, Радхи, которые были 5000 лет назад. Потому что так просто можно послушать, но оно как бы не очищает нас настолько сильно, как если бы мы следовали инструкциям. И Шрила Прабхупада в конце говорит, процесс просто будет намного легче, если мы будем следовать Рупе Госвами, которую он показал своим примером. Можно, конечно, не следовать, но будет очень сложно. Можно на месте топтаться, как эта привязанная лодка, всю ночь гребсти и на утро оказаться там же. Так что, что там? Еще, да? Не знаете, 4.
Я могу пойти спуститься.
Ну ладно, я думаю, пробую спуститься, скажет, заканчивайте. У нас обычно с 3 до 4 лекций. Okay, I can read a first verse, a first mantra. We have some time. So how to follow the principles that gave us Rupa Goswami? They are very strictly and hard in our life. I've written, when I heard about them, so it was, some of them are very strictly and hard for me. So let's dive in the text 1. Vacha vegam manasa krodha vegam, jihva vegam udaraprashtha vegam, itan vegam yo vishaheta dhiraha, sarvam apimam pritvim sa sisyat. So translation: a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. When I first read about this, so I thought, I don't need disciples all over the world. So I don't need to do all these actions, do all these urges. But as I said before, it will be much easier to go further in Krishna consciousness when we will follow this first verse. So vacha, what is it? Vacha in Sanskrit, it's Hare Krishna, it's speech. Avegam, it's urge. So what is urge? It's like I want to visit Himalayas sometimes. I want to visit some Niagara Falls or whatever. But it's not like urge. But when I need something really hard, but this called urge. And this vacha vegam, it's urge to speak. We always want to speak, chatting about different topics with our friends, with our families, and people that have this urge more. They written some books, tons of literature, and also films, interesting films. All this, when we are reading this information, we gathering this information like Jnani. These are all vacha vegam, urge of our speech, our tongues. And how to understand which information we need and which not really need. So you are like doctors, you have some profession, and you collecting huge information about this medicine, about this topic. So you will use it, and this information will help you in your future, and this can be your service to Krishna. And this information, you can use it, and this is not so vacha vegam, not so urge of not interesting information. But if we are interested in some television or YouTube channel to find how stars living, how many they have wives, divorces, men's, and all this kind of information, it's not really useless. And it's like the story about the toad and the snake, like a snake seeking a toad, but toad is silent, and when toad is going to speak, quack quack, and the snake catch it and eat it. So Srila Prabhupada is saying in Purport, we will read that these impersonalists, they are like toads, these karmis, they are like toads, they doing these noises, and they calling their death. I thought, how they are calling their death if they just speaking nonsense. But I understood that when we speak in nonsense, we like spoil our life, we spend our time. I checked my phone how many hours I sit in YouTube looking for some stupid information, and it's a lot of hours, and these hours I can spend on reading some books of six Goswamis or Srimad Bhagavatam, and I can reach to Krishna, but I don't do this. I spending my time on things that I will not use when I will going to be dead. So it's like when I minus some years of my life, it's like calling death more faster, more closely, when I spend my life to stupid information. And that is Vachavega. And this purport of Srila Prabhupada in Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaja placed a number of intelligent questions before Shukadeva Goswami. One of these questions was, why do people undergo atonement if they cannot control their senses? Why do people undergo atonement if they cannot control their senses? For instance, a thief may know perfectly well that he may be arrested for his stealing, and he may actually even see a thief arrested by the police. Yet he continues to steal. Experience is gathered by hearing and seeing. One who is less intelligent gathers experience by seeing, and one who is more intelligent gathers experience by hearing. When an intelligent person hears from the law, books and shastras or scriptures that stealing is not good, and hears that a thief is punished when arrested, he refrains from theft. A less intelligent person may first have to be arrested and punished for stealing to learn to stop stealing. However, a rascal, a foolish man, may have the experience of both hearing and seeing, and may even be punished by still he continues to steal. Even if such a person atones and is punished by the government, he will again commit theft as soon as he comes out of jail. If punishment in jail is considered atonement, what is the benefit of such atonement? Thus Parikshit Maharaj inquired. He compared atonement to all elephants bathing. The elephant may take a very nice bath in the river, but as soon as it comes onto the bank, it throws dirt all over its body. What then is the value of its bathing? Similarly, many spiritual practitioners chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and at the same time commit many forbidden things, thinking that their chanting will counteract their offenses. Of the 10 types of offenses one can commit while chanting the holy name of the Lord, this offense is called Namno Balat Yasya, Hi Papa Buddhih, committing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Similarly, certain Christians go to church to confess their sins, thinking that confession their sins before a priest and performing some penance will relieve them from the result of their weekly sins. As soon as Saturday is over and Sunday comes, they again begin their sinful activities, expecting to be forgiven the next Saturday. This kind of prayashchita or atonement is condemned by Parikshit Maharaja, the most intelligent king of his time. Shukadeva Goswami, equally intelligent as befitting the spiritual master of Maharaja Parikshit, answered the king and confirmed that his statement concerning atonement was correct. A sinful activity cannot be contracted by a pious activity. Thus, real prayashchita atonement is the awakening of our dormant Krishna consciousness. What even has this thing? Very nice. You should both these books. Very good. So yeah, in this, in our life, in our Christians' life that were before we started to practice Krishna consciousness, we just spent some time in our sinful activities, then go to the church, and this atonement was appeared, and next the circle a circle was going next. But this is like this elephant is having bath and then having dirt on himself. But you know, the reason it's about the thermic regulation, but no, it's like an analogy. Real atonement involves coming to real knowledge, and for this there is a standard process. When one follows a regulated hygienic process, he does not fall sick. A human being is meant to be trained according to certain principles to revive his original knowledge. Such a methodical life is described as tapasya. One can be gradually elevated to the standard of real knowledge or Krishna consciousness by practicing austerity and celibacy, brahmacharya, by controlling the mind, by controlling the senses, by giving up one's possession in charity, by being avowedly truthful, by keeping clean, and by practicing yoga asanas. However, if one is fortunate enough to get the association with a pure devotee, he can easily surpass all the practices for controlling the mind by the mystic yoga process, simply by following the regulative principles of Krishna consciousness, refraining from illicit sex, meat-eating, intoxication, and gambling, and by engaging in the service of the Supreme Lord under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master. This easy process is being recommended by Srila Rupa Goswami. Yeah, sounds very easy. First, one must control his speaking power. Every one of us has the power of speech as soon as we get an opportunity to begin to speak. If we do not speak about Krishna consciousness, we speak about all sorts of nonsense. A toad in a field speaks by croaking. And similarly, everyone who has a tongue wants to speak, even if all he has to say is nonsense. The croaking of the toad, however, simply invites the snake, "Please come here and eat me." Nevertheless, although it is inviting death, the toad goes on croaking. The talking of materialistic men and impersonalist Mayavadi philosophers may be compared to the croaking of frogs. They are always speaking nonsense and thus inviting death to catch them. Controlling speech, however, does not mean self-imposed silence, the external process of mauna. As Mayavadi philosopher thinks, silence may appear helpful for some time, but ultimately it proves a failure. I have a friend in Poland. He was invited to some festival in Poland, and they made this mauna, just silence. 2 weeks or something, they sit in, like doing something, but always in silence. And he said, "Oh, it's so good. My mind reloaded, like some phone with some ошибка. Like we need to sometimes to reload our computer. His mind was also reloaded, but next he was going next to use some bad things. So it helped, but on some little period of time. And Srila Prabhupada is saying about this that it's will be ultimately it proves a failure. But meaning of controlled speech conveyed by Srila Prabhupada Goswami advocates the positive process of Krishna Katha, engaging the speaking process in glorifying the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. The tongue can thus glorify the name, form, qualities and pastimes of the Lord. The preacher of Krishna Katha is always beyond the clutches of death. This is the significance of controlling the urge to speak. Next will be Mano. Vega is controlling the mind. Okay, we will stop in this. Next, maybe after, when we will take prasadam, or I don't know, or maybe now, we will discuss what we will do on the festival, on the holiday. It will be 7th of September, yeah? Може покликати Ваману, і ми обговоримо ще підготовку до фестивалю. Okay, these books you can purchase 130 hryvnias. This is very cheap, Russian, 20 hryvnias, less than $1. That is much better. So, Vamana Prabhu will come and we will discuss what we will do on holiday. Maybe we will rent some apartment, some hall for this holiday, because you will come, a lot of people will come, yeah? Much more than today. How many you think? 100? 70-20? I made a group in Telegram, or you need maybe WhatsApp? Yeah? I don't know what is better. Okay, it's Кон, Тернопіль. Він десь тут ходить. Will it, maybe I will come to you. Oh, just, Yeah, we have one member, lifetime member, Yadav Prabhu. Атюль Кришна Ядов, yeah? Okay. Вамана Прабhu, ми закінчили з лекцією і можемо зараз обговорити, чи інший момент про свято, як ми будемо проводити свято. Чи може після просади, чи може зараз, коли вже є. Кажуть, що багато людей буде. Так.
Ми закінчили лекцію Шріла
Так.
Прабхупада.
Шріла Прабхупада кі джай. Рупа Госвамі кі джай. Шріпада Шамрита кі джай.
Ананта Каруна Нітай Прабху кі джай.